Hey, it's Janelle Waz, and welcome back to another episode of Waz Reviews. Now, this review is a long time coming. You may have wondered why the avatar on my YouTube channel and my Twitter page is of a dolphin, or even where that picture came from. Well, here's your answer. It's from the Sega Genesis game Ecco the Dolphin, The Tides of Time, my very first video game. Little Waz was fascinated by the world of Ecco, and the game has had a lasting effect on me. It explains why I love dolphins and sci-fi so much. Though I loved Ecco II since I was quite young, it was many years before I got the original game, simply called Ecco the Dolphin. While praised for its gorgeous graphics, the first Ecco game was infamous for its difficulty, often stumping young players within a few levels. But I was crazy enough to beat this game in a single evening, which ended in a late night, so it's only right that I talk about it in a video. Let's dip our feet into the waters of Ecco the Dolphin. Now, before I really get into the review, I'm going to address the different versions of this game. I'm not talking about Genesis collections or virtual consoles, I'm talking about the Genesis and Sega CD versions. Well, there's also a Game Gear version that I still need to get, but Genesis and Sega CD versions. They're very similar, but there are some differences. When the Sega CD first came out, Sega started porting some of their games over to the new add-on console, usually with a new CD quality soundtrack and some FMV footage. The same goes with Ecco I and Tides of Time. Yes, I own both Genesis and Sega CD versions of each game, don't judge me. The Sega CD version of Ecco I has a couple of FMV videos of dolphin facts.
Unique physical features help us see dolphins as individual creatures. Their wide mouth, though filled with a formidable array of teeth, seems to be smiling.
A couple of new levels, checkpoints during gameplay, and, in my opinion, a superior soundtrack. I mean, listen to this soundtrack and compare it to the original. The original Genesis version is probably the version most people have played, so that's the one I'm reviewing for this video. Yeah, that's right, I went through the game without the checkpoints, at the cost of my sanity.
Have you completely recovered from your experience with
Ecco the Dolphin?
The game starts with young Ecco with his pod, jumping around, jumping around. How high in the sky can you fly?
Let's find out.
Hello? Anybody? Maybe if I jump some more? This is the moment that traumatized many a 90s kid. You're thinking this is gonna be a cute game about a dolphin, you're jumping around and... Suddenly the game takes on a foreboding tone. The music is mournful, the ocean feels empty, and there's a strong sense of loneliness. So Ecco goes and begins the search for his pod. He meets an orca who suggests perhaps the Big Blue will help you, and that you must travel past the undercaves to find him, before bolting. Not sketchy at all. And it only makes sense that the next level would be the undercaves. Yep, the classic Sega Genesis password system. Gotta love it. The password screen also comes with a little description of the level, something that would be lost in subsequent Ecco games. A deep maze of caverns with no surface to the dry side. Songs of the sea sing of great danger in this place. This is the first challenging level in the game. There's no surface for easy air access, air pockets are few and far between, and there are many dangers lurking in these undercaves. Yeah, you'll become well acquainted with the piercing cries of Ecco every single time he gets hurt. This level also introduces the octopus that appears across the game. Swim slowly past 8 arms. Just what I needed. These crystals, or glyphs as the game calls them, can provide you with helpful hints, keys to unlock barrier glyphs, or make you invincible for a short period of time. Not a whole lot goes on in the undercaves, but reach beyond it and... no Big Blue, fetch quests! No! Yeah, the next two levels, which are almost indistinguishable other than a couple of different enemies, feature two dolphins who have lost their pod due to the storm that happened. I do not know about your family, but I know I've lost mine. Pfft, yeah, Ecco, it's not all about you. Now, you can just exit the levels without finding the lost dolphins, but finding them will earn you a couple of sonar abilities, namely the sonar charge attack and a song to confuse sharks. Now, how these dolphins can survive lost in caves without air while you constantly have to resurface for air, I have no idea. Have I mentioned how much I hate these red crabs that hang out in caves? They're relentless and can do serious damage in areas where health is at a premium. And don't even get me started on these guys! Well, after going through more caves than an episode of Star Trek and swimming across shark-infested waters, no, really, there's an entire level of swimming across an open ocean full of sharks. Good soundtrack, but the Sega CD version is better. You reach the Ice Zone. To be honest, not a fan of these levels. Maybe it's the song that plays on loop that, while somewhat pleasant and mournful at first, becomes grating over time. Or maybe it's the fact that these Arctic spiders are just everywhere. Or maybe it's the fact that you have to jump out of the water at strange angles with very little room to slide across the ice. Or maybe it's the hard water that killed me countless times because... Although, I can't get mad at the sharks. While they are everywhere and grouped together, they don't seem to be actively seeking you out to attack. And while fish are scarce, they're not that hard to come by. But what's this?
Admiral, there be whales here.
That's right, Big Blue is a big blue whale who came up north to die. Though Big Blue is old and dying, he is wise. He tells you that these violent storms occur every 500 years and that all life vanishes at the eye of the storm. He doesn't know why that is, so he suggests that you seek out the asteroid, the oldest life form in the sea, who isn't talking to anyone at the moment. Well, it's not like Ecco has much to go on anyways, so let's search for the old man in the sea. Luckily, it's only 2 levels to the asteroid as opposed to the 10 to reach the Big Blue. It's more cave levels, but they're no harder than your average Ecco level. I know not what has happened to your pod. Perhaps the Big Blue will help you. Yeah, I know, we just talked to him. He said you must travel past the undercaves to find him. Well, that was no help. Why is this barrier glyph here in the first place? It's not blocking anything. This must be the most useless glyph in the game. Well, let's keep looking.
Bingo. DNA.
You must be the asteroid. I'll try to sonar you. I remember you. Admittedly, this is a strange way to meet someone. Of course it was you. And it was I who sent you. Dude, we just met. Now it is clear. Well, I'm glad it is for one of us. So the asteroid says he can help you, but you have to help him first. You must travel into the past. Oh boy, Temporal Investigations is gonna love this one.
Where do you want to start?
The beginning.
If there is such a thing.
To the west is a sunken city called Atlantis. Its people built a time machine and used it to travel in time. Bet you weren't expecting that in a dolphin game. So long story short, we have to go back in time and recover one of the asteroid's globes, and then he can give me what I need to save my pod. To the lost city of Atlantis! Overall, I like the tone and atmosphere of Atlantis. I like the classical aesthetic, and the fact that it's full of protective devices made by the Atlanteans helps connect the dolphin and human worlds. The library, eh? Well, good thing I have my library card. The library provides some much needed exposition and explains a lot of the stuff you've encountered in the game already. In short, Atlantis was losing a war with the planet Vortex, and they suffered a major blow that left the city in ruins. We have escaped into the past with our technology. That would be a very wise thing to say. The planet Vortex is a dying planet, so every 500 years, its inhabitants, also known as the Vortex, harvest the Earth's resources when the 2 planets have a clear path. The harvests get bigger and bigger as the years go by, and eventually all life on Earth will be exhausted. The Atlanteans created glyphs that contain messages when certain sounds are aimed towards it, so a dolphin of the future could travel to Vortex. Well, I know where this is going.
Space. The final frontier.
So Ecco has to kill two birds with one stone, defeat the vortex, and save his pod and the world in the process. Well, better make my way to the time machine. City of Forever? I wonder if there's any relation to the original Star Trek episode City on the Edge of Forever. And they're both related to time travel after all. Well, there's two ways to go about this level. You can tear your dolphin hair out making this stupid jump, or you can sonar this statue and go through here. I always do the latter because the jumping physics in this game are the worst. Even jumps you would have made end up pushing you back to where you came from. Here we are, the time machine, let's do this! I have to say I love how the time machine is designed. It does something often associated with future technology, in other words time travel, but it maintains that ancient feel. It's an ancient futuristic aesthetic that I find pleasing. Welcome to Jurassic Beach. So remember how much I love the ice zone? Well, the Jurassic levels don't do much better. At least the ice zone had fish around. There are no fish to be had here. You do get the invincibility glyphs that restore your health and air, but those can be few and far between. Not to mention that these eels and trilobites are extremely aggressive. Considering how much damage Ecco is doing in the past, how much of the future is he unintentionally changing? I do like the feature that allows Ecco to call the Pteranodon, who takes him to different areas of the map and is just about the only thing that doesn't try to kill him in these levels. God, I hate these trilobites! Making these levels harder than they needed to be are the fact that sometimes you have to go through walls to get to areas you need to go to. How do you know where you can go through walls? These bubbles that are hardly noticeable? I can see a lot of people getting flat out stuck in these levels because they're trying to avoid what looks like lava, but is in reality a tunnel. There's not a whole lot to differentiate between the Jurassic levels, to be honest, but eventually you come face to face with the asteroid, who is none too pleased to see you. Hey, asteroid, remember me? You sent me. Dude, what the hell? So, how to go about stealing a globe? Easier said than done. You have to charge 4 globes of the same color in a row, all while avoiding the asteroid's lightning, and then you automatically travel back to the present. Doesn't really explain why or how, it just is. Ultimately, Ecco was meant to go back in time and steal the asteroid's globe, meaning there was a globe lost in time for about 55 million years.
So you're not contending it was a predestination paradox?
A time loop? That you were meant to go back into the past?
Yes.
Alright, here's your globe. Now about those powers. Now I will help you. I will give you new powers. Use the Atlantean time machine to swim back in time to the hour of the storm. Right, because it's not like the timeline is screwed up enough as it is. We're just throwing the temporal prime directive out the window. Only we're in a plane and there's a volcano below. You will be taken with your pod. You will see the unseen enemy. Great, because I really need to speak with the manager. Worst storm ever. With your new powers, perhaps you will save your pod. So, what you're saying is that this is all a shot in the dark. Pretty much. Okay, just want to make sure we understand each other. Whoa, Ecco, where did you come from? Nah, the dolphins say the same thing as before. But this begs the question. Where was the Ecco that was swimming around here before? Is he gone? Did he appear out of nowhere? Are there 2 Eccos swimming around? Or are there 2 Eccos until the point Ecco goes back into the past? Okay, time to fulfill my alien fighting destiny. Okay, we're in the home stretch now. So we're heading to Vortex via a long tube that's presumably thousands of light years long. You know, for a dying planet, they have enough resources to construct a long tube to siphon some surf and turf from us. But now we've reached welcome to the machine. This level is the main reason why I hesitate to replay this game. And in this playthrough alone, it took me about 2 hours to get through the last 2 levels. Yes, this game is hard, but I've said many times before that Ecco isn't that hard of a game outside of Welcome to the Machine. And many times during this playthrough, I wanted to smack myself for saying that Ecco isn't that hard of a game. Welcome to the Machine puts this game over the edge as far as difficulty goes. So let's talk about it. Welcome to the Machine, named after the Pink Floyd song, is an unforgiving auto-scrolling maze. If you end up out of bounds at any point, you have to restart the level completely over. How long is this level? About 6 minutes long. You can't even speedrun this level. I don't know how many times I've gotten close to the end and was either in the wrong spot or eaten by vortex drones and had to restart the level. Yeah, that's what they look like, by the way. The sad thing is, during the first attempt in this playthrough, I was deluded enough to think I could get it on the first run. I was younger then, optimistic, full of youthful enthusiasm. The sound enough is to drive any remaining sanity from you. Listen to this. Yeah, I had to frequently use sonar just to make sure I wasn't eaten and died. That and the soundtrack. 20 seconds of it is enough to drive anyone insane. Try 2 hours of it. The Sega CD soundtrack for this level is much better, and I mention it here because you all deserve some nice music and not what I endured. I'm saving you people. Now, if you happen to miraculously get through this level, you're automatically thrown into the final level. Only you don't get a password for it. Why? Well, this is the level you take on the Vortex Queen. If you so happen to die during this level, run out of health, get eaten, whatever, you have to repeat Welcome to the Machine all over again. From the start. And restarting the game to put in the last password would be way too easy. How many times did I have to do Welcome to the Machine? 3. 3 times! Anyways, I've talked about Welcome to the Machine enough. Let's talk about the last level where you fight the Vortex Queen. Except for the fact that dying takes you back to that level, this level isn't too bad. Don't get me wrong, it's still difficult, but it's not as bad as you would expect. After sonaring both eyes until they pop out, you have to charge at the Queen's jaw 3 times until it falls off. She'll regrow another 2, and you do the same thing. Then a couple of charges to the forehead, as well as fighting off some drones, and congratulations! You saved your pod! Ecco leads his pod back to Earth and swims happily in the ocean. His pod mates thank him, and say songs will be sung of him throughout the ocean, kinda like Klingon operas.
Koi keles puk lod, koi pupet pu, yakbo matbo jeshui, semachumeu.
You have saved us! You are great! Do you think the Vortex are destroyed? A question to be answered in a sequel. Don't worry, I'm planning on reviewing that one too. The dolphins put on a choreographed dance and... oh yeah, thanks for the password for the last fight after I beat it! Would it come in handy earlier? And that's Ecco the Dolphin. So after all that, how does it hold up? As always, let's start with the ungraded categories. I don't think I need to state how difficult this game is. Overall, the game is very hard, largely because of the infamous Welcome to the Machine level. Outside of that level, though, I would describe the game more as frustrating. You won't be the first person to rage quit this game, and certainly won't be the last. You'll need to develop your management skills to make sure you have enough health and air to make it through levels. Other than a couple of puzzles that aren't very obvious, you won't need to walk through a whole lot for this game. Just explore the levels and use your sonar to find where you need to go. And now, the grading. The game's controls are pretty straightforward. Directional pad to point where you want Ecco to go, hold directional button to swim, A to sonar, B to charge, and C to swim fast. The only button combination is AB for that sonar charge you learn a couple of levels in. The game physics could be better, with jumping over islands being a fairly aggravating experience. 4 out of 5. The game's ambiance is top notch. This is a nice game to look at. The colors are nice and bright, but at the same time keep the mystery and danger of the ocean. The game's soundtrack is decent, adding to the foreboding atmosphere of the game, though there are some peppier songs thrown in. Though I still say the Sega CD soundtrack is better. 4 out of 5. The game's story is okay. There's the mystery of Ecco's family, and it's slowly revealed over the course of the game. It goes from a family disappearance story to a save the world from aliens story kinda quickly. But you know what? I don't seem to mind. We don't get to know Ecco as a character, but that works for the game. He's like a blank slate character, so in a way, we become Ecco for this game. Is it the deepest story? Probably not. But is it enough to hold the game together? I would say yes. 4 out of 5. Learning curve. Well, the controls are easy to master. But like I've said, this is a hard game. There's a lot of trial and error when you first run through the game, which can be frustrating. There are a couple of less obvious solutions to puzzles, but for the most part, once you know how the game works and use your sonar to figure out where you're going, it's not a tough learning curve to get over. 4 out of 5. Replayability. The main thing holding back replayability for me is Welcome to the Machine, like I've said a bunch of times before. Otherwise, despite the difficulty, I like revisiting Ecco every so often. The game doesn't change each time you play it, but for a Genesis game, I'm okay with that. 3 out of 5, but mostly because of that level. That leaves Ecco the Dolphin with a 19 out of 25 or 76%. The score seems a little low to me because I do like this game. I feel like if it wasn't for Welcome to the Machine, the game would have done better in the scoring. Without the grading scale, I probably would give Ecco 1 a B. It's a good game, but there's still room for improvement, especially when it comes to difficulty. And improvement there was in Ecco II, The Tides of Time. Stay tuned for that review. So what do you think? Did you play Ecco the Dolphin? Is it as hard as everyone says it is, or is the difficulty a little exaggerated? Have you played the Ecco sequels? And what's your favorite Ecco memories? Please leave a comment. As always, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Waz Reviews. If you enjoyed this video, why not give me a like and subscribe to my channel? Tell your friends! Until next time...
They are not the hell your whales.